Welcome to the Dawn of the Dead 2004 Zack Snyder, not George Romero, edition of Pop Quiz Hotshot. A nurse, a policeman, a young married couple, a salesman, and other survivors of a worldwide plague that is producing aggressive flesh-eating zombies take refuge in a mega Midwestern shopping mall. All right, so last week, 13 Ghosts, I said cut to 13-year-old Josh watching this movie. Well, now we're going to cut to 15-year-old Josh watching the 2004 Dawn of the Dead at a sleepover with some of his best friends on Halloween night Eve, or whatever that's called, Halloween Eve. I don't know. Anyways, first time I ever saw this movie, I was 15 years old, and I absolutely loved it. This movie is scary. This movie is intense. Now, I want to say that this movie really set up the running zombies, but let's be fair, 28 Days Later did come 2 years before. This was the American version of that. What this movie does well is that the first half of this movie is so intense, it's so serious, and it's just so visual. And then at some point, I know exactly which point, things just go 180 and becomes just absurdly funny. And I love it. I rewatched this movie the other day. I had a few drinks, I'm not going to lie, and I was having a good old time. I watched the unrated cut, by the way, which I've never seen before. It's got some good extra scenes in there. Not necessary. You can still watch the regular theatrical cut. Totally fine. But just overall, this movie is intense. It's got great characters. I love the characters. I love the main two. They got a little romance going on. I love that. They just feel so real. There's just scenes of them sitting at dinner, and he's talking about, it's Jake Weber. He plays Michael in the movie. He's just sitting and he's talking about his life. It's like all the jobs he's been bad at, and then it's the one job he's been good at was being a father, and everyone just stops and they look at him. There's just little reaction shots. I love it. Zack Snyder, you did a good job. Everybody else, great. I love this movie. Now, this was around that time of the big remakes of all the horror movies, and this one did it well.
When I remember watching this as a kid, and I thought it was so different from all the regular like zombies going, like they were actually fast, they're strong. You don't really see that until like the 28 days later or anything like that. But I agree with you that I really like the simple story of it, of just the group of people getting together and surviving, and yes, having their backstories revealed little by little.
Probably the best redeemed character in horror movies in like the last century is CJ, the security guard. And I actually love, and I was thinking about this throughout the movie, I love that we know nothing about him.
Yeah, no, his redemption was pretty good. Like at the beginning, yeah, he's a dick. Like, okay, he's gonna get bitten, right? No. The other one,
Love that he goes out with a blaze of glory. I love that.
Yes. But the other security guard, I'm glad he died. It's like, okay,
fine. Yeah, Bart. Screw Bart. Bart's a dick.
I had forgotten that it was a Zack Snyder film until you reminded me. I was like, now it makes sense why I really like it. Like, I don't think I've never not liked a Zack Snyder film. All the ones that I've seen, I've actually really liked. It works.
This is one of the true remakes that is like the original as far as setting and things like that, but they changed it up just enough that, yes, it's just great on its own terms. This is how the game works. Chris and I are going to go back and forth, asking the multiple choice questions that we each came up with. Whoever has the most points at the end
wins.
This was my pick. I'm going to ask the first question. Question 1. What state does this film take place in? Was it A, Illinois, B, Indiana, C, Michigan, or D, Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Correct.
Lucky guess, and that is correct.
It was either that or Michigan, so
I believe. Let me double check this. I think Zack Snyder is actually from, so the original movie was actually, the original George Romero was filmed in Pittsburgh, very famously. That's where George Romero was from, and a lot of his movies were filmed.
So you think it's they did a...
I think Zack Snyder's from Wisconsin. Let me double check. Yep, he's from Green Bay, Wisconsin. So I think that's what this movie was set.
That was a good one.
Yeah. All right. 1 point for Chris.
What kind of car did Anna drive at the beginning? Was it A, Honda Civic, B, Lincoln Aviator, C, Toyota Corolla, D, Ford Focus?
It is a Toyota Corolla.
Correct.
Once I saw that car and I knew the year, I was like, that's a Corolla. I just knew what Corollas looked like at that point. All right, after one round, Chris and I are tied 1-1. Moving on to round 2. Here we go.
All right.
What artist is singing the song in the opening credits? Was it A, Johnny Cash, B, Elvis Presley, C, Van Morrison, or D, Bob Dylan?
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash is correct. 2 points go to Chris.
When the like second group of people get to the mall from the truck, right? They offer them water. What brand of water do they drink? Is it A, Dasani, B, Aquafina, C, Pure Life, D, Clearwater?
So I think I know because I actually recognize the bottle shape, but I think it's Aquafina.
Correct.
I was like, that's familiar. We used to serve that at the theater, so I definitely know what Aquafina bottles look like.
Gotcha.
And after 2 rounds, Chris and I are still tied 3-3. Moving on to round 3. Here we go. So they decide to put signs up on the roof. What phrase is written on the sign that's painted green in the background? Was it A, alive inside, B, help, C, SOS, or D, help, alive inside?
Help, alive inside.
I'm sorry.
That is incorrect.
That's the wrong answer.
The correct answer was just alive inside.
Aye.
So just to give you a reference, the big one in orange was SOS.
Right.
And there's one on the side of the building where the door was that said help alive inside in black. And then there's 2 in the front hanging over the edge. The one that has, it's like in orange lettering with a green background, just says alive inside.
When Michael first meets Anna, how many people did he say were with him originally? Was it A, 9, B, 8, C, 11, D, 7?
I believe the correct answer is 8.
Yes. Oh!
After 3 rounds, Josh is winning 6-3. Moving on to round number 4. Here we go. What is the name of the coffee shop in the mall? Was it A, Hollowed Bean, B, Hollowed Grounds, C, Hollowed Roast, or D, Hollowed Cafe?
Hollowed Bean?
I'm sorry.
That is incorrect.
That's the wrong answer.
Oh, was it Hollowed Roast?
Nope, it's Hollowed Grounds.
Damn. What was the time on the alarm clock when Anna first wakes up? Is it A, 5:30, B, 6:36, C, 5:32, D, 6:37?
Okay, so that's a bit of a trick question. The actual answer should be 6:36 because then it switches to 6:37. So the answer is technically 6:36 because that's the first time you see.
Okay. No, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
What did you say was the answer? 6:37?
6:37.
All right. I mean, that's kind of a trick because technically.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you got that one.
All right. Here's the deal. After 4 rounds, I'm winning 10-3, which technically means I win. However, I actually did something different for this game. I made a bonus question, and I was ready to use the bonus question at the end as a tiebreaker for you to win. However, because you were losing 10-3, I'm willing to use this bonus question as a tie in general for you to tie it up in the final round. How does that sound?
Okay.
I mean, you can't really say no or you lose. You might as well go with it, right?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you get this right, you tie it in the 5th round, but I still get my final question.
Right.
So here we go.
Yeah.
This is the bonus question for Chris for a chance to tie it. What iconic 80s scream queen worked behind the scenes on this movie? Was it A, Heather Langenkamp, B, Adrienne King, C, Jamie Lee Curtis, or D, Amy Steele?
Damn. I'm gonna have to guess here.
I mean, I figured. See what he comes up with. See if we can tie this. Let's go, Chris. Heather Langenkamp, Adrian King, Jamie Lee Curtis, or Amy Steele, who worked on this movie?
Oh, one more time.
Okay, Heather Langenkamp, Adrian King, Jamie Lee Curtis, Amy Steele.
I'm in between two.
Are you leaning one way?
I have my first instinct,
Okay,
and
go with
I'm
your
not
first
sure.
Go with
Jamie
your
Lee
first
Curtis.
instinct.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
What was your second instinct?
Heather.
Heather Langenkamp.
Yeah.
Heather Langenkamp is correct.
Hey! No! Should have gone with Heather first. No!
All right, so fun fact. Heather Langenkamp worked behind the scenes on this movie in the prosthetics special effects department. She's married to the special effects coordinator, or the person in charge of special effects for this movie, David Leroy Anderson. You may also have known Heather Langenkamp's work on another famous horror movie called Cabin in the Woods, where she famously worked on all the creatures in that movie with her husband. But yes, Heather Langenkamp, if you even watch the credits, that's where I saw her name. She worked on this movie and doing prosthetics for the zombies.
Nice. No,
She does a lot of behind the scenes for other movies as well, because her husband's a pretty big name special effects.
Huh. That's actually pretty cool to know.
But because you went with your first instinct, that means this week's winner of Pop Quiz Hotshot is Josh.
Josh here.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the subscribe button to the Crosscut channel. Stay up to date for future episodes.
Thank you everyone for listening and or watching. Cut, print, moving on.